What can you do if an appraiser screws up your deal? Comes in light on the appraisal. If you're a real estate investor, what happens if they come in light on the rental, right? On the rent amount, the lease amount. What if you have a signed lease at $3,000, but the appraiser says 2,700? You're screwed. Everybody's going to take the 2,700. But you know what? Convoy Home Loans, Dustin, Jonathan, have been working for you and now have some exciting programs that can actually come to bear if an appraiser screws you. What are you doing, Dustin? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let's define how appraisers have been known to blow up deals by being extra conservative, by not doing the work, by getting the wrong comps. I've seen it. I've had it happen to me. Appraisers can screw up deals, man.
Yeah, and I have this call and conversation, unfortunately, a lot with clients where I have to remind them that look, unfortunately, sometimes appraisers are going to be incorrect, but that incorrect opinion is going to screw your deal,
Yep.
right? Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can, fix that or try to fix that. And the most common in the past has always been like, all right, we'll throw the appraisal out and get another one. But guess what? That's expensive, and you're rolling
That's
the dice,
expensive.
and you don't
Yeah.
know if the next appraiser is going to do the same thing, right? Um, the other thing that a lot of people do when it's warranted is you'll do a rebuttal, right? You'll send the
Yep.
appraiser, hey, you didn't know about these two off-market comps that sold because they haven't posted to the NMLS or recorded with the county yet. Give
Yep.
them some different comps to look at, or hey, you forgot to include a whole bedroom that I had. Like
Yeah.
those are
Did you
warranted.
forget to count?
Yeah. But a lot of times you got to remind yourself on these rebuttals, you're basically telling the appraiser and telling the appraiser's boss that, hey, this appraiser can't do their job correctly. I'm
Yeah.
smarter than the appraiser, and the appraiser has to admit it and then go to his boss and put his tail between his legs and say, yeah, I messed up. So you got to think from a human part of things, like admitting that you did wrong on a job isn't always going to be, you know,
Yeah. So again, I've had this happen to me. I've been doing this almost 30 years. I think I have rebutted, I'm going to say 10. It might be 12, it might be 8, but had serious issues with several appraisals, and I can only ever recall one rebuttal working.
yeah.
To your point, it's not common. Yeah, it's a process. Yeah, they talk about it. But to your point, it's a human being that has a boss and this, that, and the other. They're not really keen to admit a mistake. So, yeah, but to that point, it's expensive, man. I mean, I must have done second appraisals oof, 20 times probably, maybe
Yeah.
15, somewhere in there. That's expensive. It's two of those. And oh, by the way, there's no guarantee that the lender's even going to let you do a second appraisal, right?
Yep.
They might take the average of the two,
Yep.
right? So there's all of these extra things. So yeah, sometimes appraisers screw up. They're human beings. Sometimes you can't get it fixed. But here's the problem, especially if you're a landlord, they can screw you twice, not only on the purchase, but also on the rent. And actually, that's where I've seen appraisers go wrong more often than value. It's rent. That's not what they do most of the time, right? They're probably going to some service, Rentometer, Zillow, something, and calling it a day. They don't look at, like, they're not saying, hey, do you have a signed lease? They don't ask that question.
No.
And yeah, but again, if you're getting a DSCR loan and it should be $3,000 and it comes in at 2,700, you could go from a 1-1 to a sub one really quick and screw up your deal.
And that exact situation happens a lot, and I'll give, and I'd like to share. She's not part of the ORAC community, but a past client of mine that buys a lot of like 3-bed, 2-bath down in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and ultimately, she has like 7 single families all within like a 3-mile radius, all kind of in the same town down in San Diego. And she knows what she's getting. She got another one on her lap. Um, and basically, she's doing a purchase, right? And she was pretty confident on the fact that she could get 6,200.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Appraiser goes out there. Now, this is a purchase. Okay. Appraiser goes out there and puts up the market rents 4,000. All right.
Oh, wow.
So we start with, for example, that she was going to put 25 down at 6.25. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
After we get the appraisal back, now all of a sudden, since the market rents came in at 4,000, we have to, give her an interest rate that corresponds with a more risky loan because the
Of
rents
course.
don't support the mortgage payment. It's kind of backwards because now it doesn't support the mortgage payment by even more because we're jacking the rate up. But
Yeah.
now the rate goes from 6.25 to 7.25. Okay.
Yeah.
Client's not happy. I'm not happy. The appraiser, unfortunately, we don't have time to get a second appraisal. The seller's in a 1031. We have to close. We're against the clock. So we've been testing this, and it's a brand new product that at least Convoy has been using the last month or so. We haven't really marketed it until we see that it works and that it's going to be sold and taken by some of our hedge funds. But what's great is for this particular client, right? She was $2,200 short of what she thought it was going to be. Now, all we needed was the appraiser to come back in at 5,500. Okay, so
Okay.
we were really $1,500 short away from where we needed it to be.
Okay.
So what we have is basically a DSCR loan where you can now use your assets to supplement the difference between what the appraiser gave you and then what the mortgage payment is, so that
Hmm.
the DSCR ratio is really a debt service plus asset coverage ratio. Okay.
I like that plus
So,
asset. I like that. I
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how do you do that? You basically take the amount of liquid assets. This isn't, equity, or this isn't, unfortunately, 401ks or anything. It's liquid. So cash or cash equivalents in the stock market. Okay. And we just divide it by 60. So, you know, fortunately, this client had more than 90,000 in liquid assets because that's really all we needed. We
Yep.
took and showed basically underwriting that she's got several six figures in her, bank account,
Yep.
divided by 60. And now, over a 5 year period, the way the underwriting is looking at it, it's like, look, she's got 5 years to get the rents higher
Yep.
than what the appraiser thinks, which we trust that. And she has the liquidity to supplement that difference just in case the appraiser is right. Um,
That is really cool because again, this allows you to look at the complete. It's like a make sense loan. That's what I call these things, right? Make sense
ability
loan.
to repay is the
Yeah.
biggest word used in non-QM.
Yeah. Ability. I like that. Ability to repay. You're looking at the borrower as a complete unit, not just this deal. And you're saying, does this borrower, given the entire picture, have a very good chance to repay? That's the asset in this case, because the appraiser says they're short. They have the liquidity. Again, I would call it an alligator, right? It's negative cash flow. This person has the current liquid. We're not talking about future liquidity, current liquidity
Yeah.
to carry it for 5 years. And I'm waiting for the punchline. So you were thinking you were 6.25. You had to go to 7.25. What happens now?
Now we're back to 6.5. It's not 6.25 because we're
Yeah,
using a
it's
little,
better. Yeah, yeah,
added program to get there. But it's funny, this all spurred from the fact that, like, me and John were thinking, and we go back and forth, and it takes sometimes trying to make new products. But when we thought about purchases that you do when you have a conventional loan, it's like a lot of times you'll use 75% of the rent, but you also get to use your personal income, right? You
yes,
get to use both.
correct.
DSCR, it's like, well, yes, like the whole purpose of a DSCR, so we don't have to look at the individual, it's just the property. But when you have somebody that's, liquid or capable of bridging that gap, and we understand that that gap is hypothetical because the appraiser on a purchase isn't always 100% right. We can debate
Yeah,
that all day long. Then
sure.
we shouldn't penalize the borrower because it's unfair for a borrower to go into a short close of escrow, have no chance besides getting one appraisal, and then have an individual's, opinion determine $300-400 difference on the monthly payment.
Yeah, I
So we're
like it.
excited about it. We'll see where it goes. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands this is not for refinances. This is
Yeah,
not,
only purchase. Only purchase.
like, look, if you have a lease for 4,000 and we need it to be 5,700, we're not going to be like batting
Yeah,
the
wink, wink,
eyes.
wink, nod, nod. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a appraiser messed up. solution. That's the whole
Yeah.
purpose of this.
Yeah. This should
program.
be, let's say, I'll say it this way. These are my words, not yours. This is going to be an uncommon, but very valuable tool for a few situations.
Yep. This isn't everybody's doing. This isn't like
Yeah.
something that we're just like screaming at the mountaintop. This is the best product or best thing since, sliced bread. But it's a good way to kind of combat when we get a bad lemon of a appraiser.
Yeah, and this is why I like Convoy Home Loans, specifically you, Dustin, and your partner, Jonathan. You're always looking at your customers and seeing what they need and trying to solve complex problems. This is a real problem. And, appraisers have been known to screw up deals. They've screwed up my deals. They've cost me thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And this is a way you could look at the complete borrower and the asset. I think it's a genius idea. I think it will save lots of people like your client. So from real heartache, right? Because again, I'm going to trust her. She's already got 7 doors in that area that, she might not be right at 6,200, but I guarantee you the appraiser is wrong at 4. The number is somewhere between that.
I mean, look, it's right by San Diego State. I'm not sharing her name, but
yeah, it's fine.
Like she knows how much she can get student rentals to pay to live 4 blocks away from the campus and walk. Like we have proven sick. It's not 4K. So
there you go.
I stand behind her.
Yeah, I would. Smart man. We got to get her on the channel. Send an email. I want to interview. I'd love to, seriously, I'd love to interview somebody who's doing student housing. If you make an introduction, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we can do that.
But yeah, at the end of the day, what I want you guys to take away is Convoy Home Loans is trying to solve real problems for investors. They're a make sense lender. They're offering all kinds of work with the Orat family. And you get to work with Dustin or Jonathan. How do they do that?
Just go to convoyhomeloans.com and make sure you click the drop-down menu and say that you came from ORAC, because we've had a few instances in the past couple of weeks where clients are coming from the community and they end up with one of our loan officers, and nothing bad. We love all of our loan officers, but if you do want to speak with me or John, you got to do that. Yeah, folks, I can't stress this enough. I've said it in every video. You don't want to wait in a queue. Not that the queue's bad, but the queue is for normal people. We're special. You want to work with the CEO or the COO. Stop being in the queue. Dustin, you're amazing. Say hi to Jonathan for me. Will do. Thanks, Mike.